Well, good afternoon. It's Monday. I'm sorry I meant to post this earlier, but the wind has been so heavy, and it took me a long time to get my hair ready, so hope it looks okay. Sorry if it doesn't. So anyway, I wanted to get back in touch with you because today being Monday, we need to find out what's going on in the real estate market. What's been happening? And we've got some good news and maybe some not so good news that we should report. But before we go any further, if you are watching this on Instagram, then you need to click that little TV down below. So that way you'll go to IGTV and be able to watch the whole video, because there's some good news at the end, or maybe some not so good news at the end that you're not going to want to miss. Let's get started. First of all, a University of Texas at Arlington study came out and said that keeping lawns freshly cut and outdoor spaces in tip-top shape could result in greater rewards for sellers. What? Really? Go figure. I've been telling all my clients that. A new analysis of Google Street View and data from nearly 90,000 home sales found that, on average, a property with strong curb appeal sells at a 7% premium to a comparable home in the same neighborhood. In a buyer's market, that premium shot up to as high as 14%. Telling us, as I've been saying all along, get out there and mow the lawns, get out there and spruce up the front. If it needs a little bit of paint in the front, get out there and paint. So make the front of your house, that curb appeal, look as good as possible. Another study from CNBC says the housing market falling short by nearly 4 million homes as demand grows. An analyzing U.S. Census data report shows that 5.9 million single-family homes were built between 2012 and 2019, but that doesn't offset the 9.8 million new households formed during the same time. Now, CNBC does state, quote, the shortfall today can be blamed on the epic housing crash of more than a decade ago, brought on by irrational and unscrupulous mortgage lending, end quote. Okay, first of all, that's not altogether true. Okay? Back in law enforcement, I used to say that there are contributing factors, and that is a contributing factor, but that is not the primary collision factor for the market crash. If you want to know more information about that, you can get more information from one of my older videos that I posted, and you can click this right here and be taken to that video now. But wait, don't do that. Watch this entire video, rewind, and if you're on YouTube, you can click this little button right here and be taken to that video. Sorry, if you're watching IGTV or Facebook, I'm just pointing at nothing. Sorry. Now, the CNBC report also goes on to say that older Americans are not freeing up their homes at the same rate as previous generations did at their age. Come on, older Americans, get out there and sell your houses. The young people need someplace to live. That's CNBC talking, not me, okay? Part of that is because so many millennials moved back in with their parents during the recession, and now they're unable to afford to either rent or buy their own space. And that has left a shortage of move-up homes in some communities. Millennials, if you didn't see my last video on millennials, you need to go back and watch that. In fact, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, click that button and you can go watch that video. But again, don't do it yet until this whole video is over. And then if you're on YouTube, you can rewind and go back to the second time I'm pointing up weirdly into the air. If you're watching this on IGTV and Facebook, I know, this just looks really weird, doesn't it? Okay. The CNBC report also says large populations of renters and well-qualified potential buyers with strong incomes are waiting in the wings, end quote. Which means if you're thinking about selling your home, now's a good time, because there are a lot of buyers out there driving those prices up. Wait a minute, hold on. Oh, yeah. Whew! National Association of Realtors came out with their study talking about the bank of mom and dad. That's right. I did a video about this again, so you might want to go back and check that out. But it does say that there's no question about it. It's hard for first-time buyers to enter the housing market today because they just don't have the funds. So mom and dad are there to help, and this is a good time, especially for millennials, because millennials are buying at a slower rate. So we need to get that up. We need to get that up because if you watch my previous video, building your wealth earlier helps in retirement. So part of that building wealth is buying a home now between the ages of 25 to 35. So using family as a source of down payment help is most common among the younger millennial buyers compared to the other generations. So that there really helps your kids. If you want to help your kids, help them buy, because that helps build wealth. First-time home buyers, finally, you're catching a break. It says here that, according to a recent report, the cheapest financing in more than 3 years is making it easier for first-time buyers to afford a home. That's awesome. In 2019's second quarter, first-time buyers had 100% of the median household income to buy a home. That's amazing. 100% of the median household income. Now, that was measured by N.A.R's first-time home buyer affordability index. They crunch numbers, they take into consideration the financing rates and home prices in order to come up with those findings. Now, by the third quarter, the report shows that the index showed 105% of the income needed. So that means from 100% in the second quarter of 2019 to the third quarter of 2019, first-time home buyers were actually doing better, from 100% of median household income to 105%. Chief economist of N.A.R., Lawrence Yun, says, quote, "The low mortgage rates are clearly helping the market conditions," end quote. Freddie Mac, we all heard of them. The average interest rate, according to Freddie Mac right now, says for 2020 to 2021 is expected to drop even more than it is today. Lower mortgage rates compensate for higher income prices and lagging income growth because the cheaper financing lowers a buyer's monthly payments. And speaking of interest rates, hot off the presses, a recent report in Market Watch shows the 30-year fixed rate mortgage averaged 3.6%, and the interest rates are now at their lowest level since October. But wait, that's not all. The 30-year fixed rate mortgage now only stands 0.25% above its all-time low. These interest rates we have right now that were expected to rise in 2019 and didn't, now they're saying they should maybe go up at the end of 2020. Well, guess what? This is great news for buyers because right now we are 0.25% above all-time lows. That's amazing. And now, some good news or maybe some bad news. Finally, changes are coming to your credit scores. What? Really? Yes, really. I'm sorry to say that, but your credit score could go down. Or it could go up. FICO announced Thursday that their new scoring model will take consumers' debt levels into account now. And they will more closely track the personal loans. They're also going to take a historical view of payments over time and can process much more information, including account balances for the previous 2 years, according to FICO. The new changes are due to go into effect this summer. It's February, folks. That's not far away. So what does all this mean? Well, if you want to know what this means specifically for you, you can give me a call, shoot me a text, shoot me an email, or comment below, and we can discuss it, how it affects you personally. If you're watching this on IGTV, give me a heart so I know that you like me. If you're watching this on Facebook, like, share, comment below your thoughts. Same thing with YouTube. And subscribe on YouTube. That really makes me feel better about myself because I need to feel better about myself. I'm Ray Wright, and I'm here to help.